What's up, guys? We're back here with Nian. He's a 15-year-old making a consistent $2,000 in profit every single month from a sneaker reselling business. How's it going, my boy?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. It's been a while since we've had a chance to catch up, but today we're gonna just kind of ask you a couple questions, see how you've been able to be so successful as just a 15-year-old. You said, right? So you're like what, 11th grade, 10th grade?
10th, yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So yeah, just a sophomore in high school, and already starting up a profitable business and side hustle. So that's super dope. Congratulations, by the way. So just
Thank
to
you.
kind of open everything up, uh, tell me a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more about yourself, and what your journey was like before even joining ZNA Resells 2.0.
All right. So I started reselling back when I was 11. I think it was like 2019, like around COVID time. And then from like since then, I've just been doing like retail drops, maybe getting like 10, 20 pairs of retail a month, even less than that, maybe 5 to 10 actually. And then right before ZNA, I had about 60 to 70 pairs, but nowhere to sell them to. I joined ZNA and they helped me build my network and my social media platform. So like right now I'm at 500 on Instagram. I was at 50 before ZNA, and
Awesome,
yeah, that's mainly what helped me in ZNA.
dope. So you already had a little bit of experience, kind of coming into it. So you weren't like completely new to reselling. How long have you been reselling total? Would you say?
That's literally like 3, 4 years.
Gotcha. So quite some time now. Like that's
Yeah,
that's
it's been a
almost
minute,
that's about as
definitely.
long as we've been doing it almost. That's awesome. So um over these last kind of 4 years, you haven't really seen any type of crazy success like until recently, right? And like, you've been doing pretty good recently. What would you
Yeah.
say like your best month was like ever so far? I'm just curious.
So far, it would definitely be December that just passed or January that just passed. Yeah. After
Awesome,
building
dude.
that network, it really like snowballed and just helped me get a lot of pairs sold. Before, I would get a lot of pairs in, but not be able to sell them as quickly, you know? So
Gotcha. So your challenge before wasn't really as much like actually getting the pairs, it was more so just selling them. So I guess what other challenges would you say kind of help, like what are the major challenges other than that that really kind of held your business back in the beginning?
one of the challenges was that I was kind of scared in a way because I wasn't using my own money. I was using my dad's money and stuff to
Hmm.
like as capital. So I was scared that I was gonna like just fuck something up. Oh, sorry.
No, no, you're good. You can I try to,
Um
keep it at a minimal, but yeah, it's not a big
yeah.
deal.
So
Yeah.
I just felt like I was gonna mess something up. So um I would always be like a little bit cautious with what I go into, how much I put into it, and stuff like that. And then I was also never into reseller to reseller sort of business, and
Hmm.
I would only buy stuff from drops and for retail price only. So I missed out on a lot of profit.
Yeah, and you're to be honest with you, a lot of people are still kind of stuck in that cycle, especially in 2024. It's just not possible to make consistent money if you're relying on retail drops. Like we got the bread force coming up in about like what 5 6 days. So
Yeah.
like in this case, yeah, you'll be able to make a couple thousand if you do things right. But what happens next month when there's no bread for or there's no like release of the year, right? So everything just kind of stops for you if you don't have the right systems in place to be able to bring in consistent inventory, but then also, like you mentioned, to sell it. So how would you say that ZNA Resells 2.0 helped you overcome that challenge? One of just being afraid, and then two, also finding those buyers.
Yeah, so after I joined ZNA, I went straight to the verified buyers list and I just started hitting up a bunch of them. And within maybe like a day or two, my already they started following me back, messaging me back. So I already had like kind of a friendship in the making with them. And because of that, now I was able to sell, like I said before I joined, I was sitting at like 70, 80 pairs. Within that month in December when I joined, I sold about 40 to 50 of them. Right now I'm sitting on about 20 pairs. So mainly just like really helped me get that network, get them people in my messages, and just like sell.
Gotcha. And I know you mentioned the verified buyer list. You want to kind of, for the people that might not know, like what that is, you want to kind of spill some details on that?
Yeah, so basically it's just like a well, you know, but like it's like a list of all these people that they always are buying, they pay really well. It's just that sort of thing. Good people to work with.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. And so that's one thing that, when I first started as well, that was one of the biggest challenges that I had after I transitioned off of retail because right now we really don't do retail that seriously. If there's a retail drop, sure. Like the bread fours, we'll maybe get like 20 to 40 pairs for retail, but we'll buy hundreds for resale and make way more money that way, and with less, physical effort. Like we don't have to physically go to stores. So for me, the problem was always finding those buyers, and that's why we kind of compiled this list. Everyone in that list has done business with us, so we all know that they're legit. And as you probably experienced, a lot of them are higher level, like resellers, so they're doing this either for a living or at a high enough level to where they're able to just constantly have that cash flow to keep cashing you out. So that's super dope. Now, kind of transitioning, I know that for you, you did make a pretty big transition from focusing primarily on retail to now buying from other resellers. So can you kind of just break down what that change is, why you made that change, and why you kind of switched up your business strategy? Because you've been reselling for the last, 3, 4 years. So why now did you decide to like what made you kind of switch now and start seeing that kind of success?
So what I realized was it wasn't like just a few months. It was from maybe summer of last year. I was like really seeing that, yeah, I can get all these pairs, but the amount of people buying is just going down with the amount of pairs I get. So I'm up here with my amount of pairs, but the buyers are here. So like moving locally, moving all my pairs locally wasn't working anymore, wasn't cutting it. So I was like, either I get out of the game, liquidate, and move on to something else, or I find a list of people that I know are wanting to buy my stuff. And retail, honestly, on most pairs, it's quite high compared to what market is. So I was like, if I can start buying from other people for lower and then just selling to higher, it would be more efficient than having to rely on Nike to drop something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, I know, before you kind of came into the program and everything, you did have a little bit more capital than like the average person would have. You said 70, 80 pairs. So that's a good amount to be coming into it with. And that definitely, helps out a lot. But what would be your advice to someone that maybe only has $100, $200, $300? If you were back in that spot and you didn't really have the knowledge of what you were doing, you only had a couple $100, how would you take that person? What would you tell them to take that person from where they're at now to making $2,000 a month in profit?
Well, I would first the reason I started off with a good amount of capital was because I sat my dad down and I had an honest conversation with him. I feel like everybody who's on a low capital should do the same thing and just be like, Dad, I'm young. I'm trying to start a business. I'm trying to make a living for myself. So would you invest in me and my future? I said that to my dad. It worked. For some people, it may not work, but it's worth a shot. If it doesn't work, I would say probably um, I never personally did used because I was just scared of like the used market, fake and all that. So probably isn't the most optimal thing, but I would stick to just retail, low cost retail, and then brick flip and just try and get stuff out the door as quickly as possible. I wouldn't have anything for less than a week. Even that's pushing it, and just try to build that capital up. And as a starting reseller, I would definitely say build your network. From since like the past 2 months since I've been in ZNA, um, I've significantly built my network, and I can see with the amount of people DMing me on a day, the amount of people following me, like just I'm becoming more involved in the community of reselling, and that's really benefiting my profit and stuff.
That's exactly why you're starting. So that's a really important point that I want to kind of highlight. The reason that you're seeing the success is not because of any like particular strategy or anything. Sure, that stuff contributes, but because you put yourself out there, because you're posting consistently. So like you're one of the few people that has grown so quick on especially on Instagram because you're consistently posting, you're
Yeah.
following the frameworks that we're giving you, but ultimately it's like you're just taking the action to make yourself known in the sneaker community, and that's why you've seen success. So it's not really like, everyone can be like, oh, it's so shocking. I'm not really shocked because from the moment you came in, you were motivated, driven. You knew you had that chip on your shoulder. You came in, you did the work, and so it's really not surprising that you're seeing success. And so I know only more success is going to come, no matter what industry it is in, right? Because you're right now you're learning the skills necessary to build relationships, and business is all about relationships. Who you know will take you so much farther than anything else. So being in this community especially has definitely like helped, and you can see it, right? Like just how much you've evolved in such a little amount of time. But really that skill that you've learned in building relationships with suppliers, like it's just that's just like a huge thing. Like pretty much anyone now that you ever do business with in any niche or any industry, you have the ability to know how to build that relationship with them and do good business. And that's just something that so many people overlook. So props to you for that, and just keep keep that up. And that's some great advice as well. As far as like the used shoe thing, used shoes aren't horrible. We That's actually how we started, right? Because I didn't have like a crazy amount of money. I didn't have the ability to like take a bunch of money from my parents. So me and Aiden pretty much like self-funded the entire thing. But we started out with just used shoes because we could make higher margins and just keep flipping. You got to be a little bit more careful with, fakes. That's definitely a concern. But there's systems in place that, like for one, knowing who you're buying off of, knowing how to vet the person, but also just using apps like Check, Legit app. Those apps can help you kind of avoid a lot of those mistakes. And there's a lot of great deals used. So I wouldn't sleep on used. I've made some of the best money ever from used shoes, buying out collections. Don't sleep on it. Maybe we got to talk more after this about getting you involved in some more used shoes.
I've
But
definitely
cool.
been into it.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I've definitely been looking into used. It's just like before I was like the risk to reward in used is I'm young, so what if I do get scammed? I was naive as well. So like
Yeah,
now that I have a lot of knowledge and stuff and I'm more capital to be able to lose like $120, whatever it is, I'm more open to going into used and getting into it.
gotcha. Yeah, and there's a lot of vendors that sell used shoes for good prices. Like for example, I got these for like $40. So like
Yeah, I
these,
know you talking
right?
about them.
Yeah, I've shown you these before. I paid
Mhm.
40 for these. They're like barely worn. Jordan 1 Marina Blues. Like they're selling right now for like 120 in similar condition, same size. So, I paid 40. I'm able to easily make like a $40 profit on that after fees if I sold it on eBay. So, and the guy that I bought from just goes live on Whatnot, drops some stuff. So Whatnot's a great place that a lot of people are not looking into right now. So I'll do a better job too of just giving you more resources for use. Maybe you just highlighted something that we should, improve on a little bit as well. But that's awesome. You're definitely going to go far as new, and maybe we'll get you into use a little bit as well. So where do you see your business going now? What's your goal for the next few years? Like you're only 15, so you have a long way of business ahead of you. Where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, like 3 to 5 years? Where do you see your business? Where do you see your goals? Like, kind of run me down on all that.
So now that I've broken my barrier of not being able to sell, not be able to consistently make money, honestly, I feel like the sky's the limit, and it's honestly just like how much time I have to put into it and whatever. Like even just from December to now, I've seen substantial growth in my consistent profit and stuff like that. So honestly, in the next 3 to 5 years, I see myself easily making 10K a month and
Beautiful,
having
beautiful, and
multiple businesses.
absolutely, absolutely, and I definitely think you can get there. Especially one thing I just want to kind of highlight last minute too is it's really about what's up here, right? Business is so much about just your mentality day to day. Ability to have the discipline to get stuff done, but also just the ability to know like when stuff's not going your way, that's part of the process, right? So many people join for 1 month, they start reselling for 1 month or 2 months even, and then stuff just doesn't go their way. They quit and never do it again. And then there's the people that stick it out for years. Maybe for 2 years they don't see any crazy results, and then on year three they make more money than everyone else that was making the last 2 years in 1 month. So that's really just how the growth kind of goes. It's not necessarily like linear; it's more just like exponential, right? So
Yeah,
you're not going to see like a constant just like upward. You're just going to see up and down. You'll see a crazy down. You'll see a big
yeah.
up, think you made it, back down, and then boom, you'll break through that ceiling. So
I definitely
that
felt
that
that.
yeah, and in the future, there's going to be more challenges. There's going to be more struggles, right? So you got to embrace the moments when it's good and also when it's bad, and just keep
Mhm.
pushing forward. And if you can do that, then there's really nothing holding you back other than you. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that about wraps it up. It was great. It was great catching up with you again, and I'm super excited to see how you keep doing moving forward. So many young bucks in the community that are already doing crazy good at such a young age. So I mean, I'm excited to see when you turn 18, you could be a millionaire. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. So
Yeah.
we'll see how things go. But appreciate your time, bro. That's it.
Thank you.